Good morning. Been a while since I rapped at you, as Jim Anchower likes to say. Had a lot going on. Haven't made a video in several weeks, and this is going to be a video about record shopping. So, don't know what the rest of you guys are doing in these COVID times. I've been ordering things online occasionally. I've got a record coming from Germany. Got another one coming from the UK. Real excited about those, but not really trying to anticipate when they're going to arrive. In fact, I don't even think the one from Germany is shipped yet. But the shipper says the Deutsche Post has been delayed, and that was, I think, 2 weeks ago. So I might need to check up on that one on Discogs. Other than that, stores are reopening here in Florida, here and there. Thrift stores, flea markets, etc. So been out picking a little bit. Haven't really done any Craigslisting. I don't do Facebook Marketplace, so that option's kind of out for me. But I don't know how many people really... I have seen on Craigslist a few people advertising social distancing conditions where you can go out and pick through their records if they have multiple bins and so forth. But nobody around here has been doing that. So I have been to a couple of places. I had somebody give me some records recently. Yesterday I had to stop at Spectrum, so the flea market was close by, and I hit a stall that I haven't been to in months. I found some pretty cool stuff there before, so I went in, and right there in the bin, the guy was having a half-off sale on everything. So immediately I found this, which I had been desperately seeking a copy of in nice condition. It's Love is Blue by the Dells. It's a great kind of psychedelic soul album from the 70s, and the copy that I have now has shrink wrap on it, but I bought it a year or two ago, and when I got the disc out, it was beat all to hell. Just looked absolutely horrible. Cleaned it up as best I could, and it still just sounded bad. So this copy was in his bin for $3. It was right there in the new arrivals. I grabbed it immediately. Jacket's even in really good shape, but I'll probably keep my shrink-wrapped one. I checked the disc on Cadet. Looks like it's in really nice shape too. I mean, it doesn't even look like it's ever been played before, either side. It's got a little bit of dust on it, but other than that, it's in beautiful condition. So I was extremely happy to get this. So I got it for $1.50. And, you know, I've been looking on Discogs and places, and you just can't find one in this shape for anywhere near that price. And again, I didn't want to spend a fortune on it because I'd already paid for a copy. I probably ended up paying like $6 for the scratched copy that I have. But from what I've been able to play on this album, it's just a lovely record, and I was really happy to get that. So that I immediately saw this record and knew I was in for a day of finding something pretty decent and cool. And that is how it turned out to be. So next record, picked up this little new music EP. It's got 4 songs on it. It's produced by Tony Mansfield. New Music was a UK kind of a new wave band, pop new wave from the, I think, late 70s, early 80s. You can find their music pretty cheap usually. It's very tuneful and melodic, catchy pop hooks and strong melodies and good songwriting. And I don't know what this particular little EP sounds like, but I've been seeing it through the years, and it's one of those things where I just figure, you know, it's cheap, but I've got a couple of their records already. So I've never picked it up. It's called Straight Lines. I got it for $1.50. So as you can see, he's got his little prices taped on there. So it's a 10-inch record. I'm not a huge fan of 10-inch LPs, but it's on Epic. So that's kind of a cool pickup to add to the New Music collection. Here's something on the green linnet or linnet label. It's a type of bird. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. We don't have linnets or linnets down here in Florida. We have cardinals, blue jays, you know, the real aggressive predatory type birds. So this is a band called Patrick Street. And since Green Linnet is a very good label, they typically have just Irish Gaelic folky type music, sort of like Shanashi, but more of a mid to late 80s label that produced a lot of these types of bands. So you can see, sometimes you can just look at an album cover and tell if it's going to be your thing or not. So here you've got a guy, they've got, I don't know, looks like a guitar or something, some kind of really old stringed instrument. Maybe it's a lute. And then a guy with an accordion or a melodica, whatever that happens to be. And one guy wearing a really neat looking hat there. And anyway, so yeah, Patrick Street's got some jigs, some Mrs. O'Sullivan's jig, The Man with the Cap. I don't know any of these songs. It's just one of those things, it was like $1.50, so I'm gonna check it out. Green Linnet. Can't even pronounce the name of this album. I think it says, well, I guess it's just the band members' names. It says up here it has something in Gaelic. I guess it's Patrick Street written in Gaelic. All right, enough about that. By the way, I'm playing some Kraftwerk Radioactivity on the background music today in honor of Florian Schneider, one of the founding members of Kraftwerk, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. Family and the band didn't announce it for almost a month, which is kind of strange. I have a friend who posted an article about that on his blog. But yeah, in memory of Florian Schneider, I'm dedicating this little video. Okay, moving on to what I found yesterday at the flea market. A Red Fox album. I don't have any Red Fox LPs. This one's called The Side Splitter. It was $4, so I got it for $2. Cover's in great shape. I didn't really check the discs on most of these. I might have just kind of pulled it out and looked at a couple of the tracks to see how they looked. But, I don't really remember hearing Red Fox's comedy other than on Sanford & Son. But I thought that would be cool, maybe worth checking out. I'll bet it's really funny. Okay, also in that new arrival section, I found this Maynard Ferguson record, MF Horn. It's got his cover of MacArthur Park on it. Now, I really like his covers of the Star Trek theme and the Rocky theme from Conquistador. Actually, I like that whole record, and that's a great budget LP you can find usually for between $1 and $3. In good shape. This one I think I might have seen before. It's got this odd photo of him with these really strange colors. His face is a little bit blue. His jacket is kind of mauve. So anyway, Maynard Ferguson. I didn't have anything other than Conquistador by Maynard Ferguson. So this was $2. It's in really great shape. So decided to grab that one. Now this guy, I love his music. Fat Larry's Band. This one is called Feel It. I got it for $2. Cover's got a little bit of wear on it, but it's really not too bad. I haven't cleaned up any of these LPs yet. It's the back of it. I have another album by him though that I think is excellent. Can't remember the title. It's got a rather risque cover, but this is pretty funny. Funny cover. Fat Larry's Band. Good disco funk. So surprisingly enough, this is a record I've seen for years, never owned a copy of it, and really just kind of gotten into Quincy Jones recently with Smackwater Jack, which it's one of my favorite albums from the past 2 years, at least the 70s jazz, funk, soul. So this is the dude. Really like the cover. I used to think when I was a kid that this album had a really dumb cover. But I've kind of warmed up to it over the years. And of course there's the Lebowski connection, which I'm sure had nothing to do with this record because this came out a long time before that movie. But, the dude, Quincy Jones. So it's on, I guess, the Quincy Jones Productions label. Don't really know what kind of music this is. I hope it's good, not like treacly jazz, but it could be. Okay. Here's one, this one I paid $2 for. Never really seen this one. I have a lot of Yes albums, and I have some Vangelis records. They're kind of hit and miss. Mostly with the Vangelis. I like almost everything Yes does, but this was John and Vangelis, an album they did called The Friends of Mr. Cairo. And I imagine it's pretty interesting. So thought I'd check this one out. It's in really great shape. It's an import copy. Here's another band I didn't have anything by. I know they're disco, and I know I've heard some of these songs, but I don't really know anything off of this. Well, Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel is on here. I do know that song. And it was $2, so half off. One of the reasons I grabbed this record, though, is it's got this cool embossed cover. So the band's name is just like the Hollywood logo on the front of the cover. And I like design elements like this, where somebody put some creative thought into it. So you've got, the Capitol Records building in the valley down there at the bottom of the cover. And then you flip it over and boom, it's the same scene. But, now it's in the evening. And you've got the Hollywood sign, and now the band is embossed on the back cover. That's kind of a cool touch, So you've got Tavares in the front, and the band Tavares on the back. It's really neat. So, and I'm sure it's good disco. So this one's called Sky High. Obviously, it's on Capitol because the Capitol building's right there. And it looked like a pretty neat thing, so thought I'd pick that up. Okay, up next is a Joe Higgs record. This is from 1988 on Shinashi. This one was $6, so I got it for $3. Kind of an interesting little, what do they call that? Where they touch up the colors on here. It's almost sepia tone, but not quite. Anyway, so it almost looks like, children's album, I guess. I don't know any of these songs. It sounded interesting. I was amazed to find that it was not, it doesn't use Sly and Robbie for the rhythm section. So that'll be kind of a change of pace. But hopefully it's a pretty decent reggae album. I don't buy a lot of reggae from the 80s, tend to stay away from it. But, I just decided to take the plunge on this one. Occasionally you do find something good from the 80s, anything produced by scientists, Clint Eastwood. Maybe some, I've had some good luck with Bunny Wailer, things like that, so maybe I'll get lucky on this one. The next album that I bought at the flea market was Bebop Deluxe's Modern Music. He wanted $6 for this, so I got it for $3. That's the only reason I bought it. I already have a really, really nice copy of this album. This is one of the 6 albums that Bebop Deluxe released on the mid to late 70s, I think maybe through 80, 81. This was their 4th studio LP. They're all just go out and buy Bebop Deluxe. I mean, they're incredible. But so the reason I bought this is because it actually has an inner sleeve. And the copy that I purchased before doesn't. So you can see the record slipping out of the bottom. I'm going to have to tape it up, but I like to have inner sleeves if I can get them. This one it's not ripped or anything, other than that little tear at the bottom, and it's got some side splits. So don't really care about the condition of the disc on this. It's a harvest pressing. I'll clean it up, give it to a friend, with this other jacket, and keep my nice pristine jacket. Now I have this inner sleeve to go with it. So that's an upgrade for me. Bebop Deluxe Modern Music. Next up, I was really stoked to see this title in the new releases. This is Stump Juice by Jimmy McGriff. Awesome 60s jazz organist, 60s and 70s. Very gritty music. Did a lot of work with Groove Holmes, another gritty jazz funk organist. And looks like it's in good shape. Got a little bit of cover wear. Not too bad, though. This is on the Groove Merchant label. That's what the inner looks like. So, like I say, I mean, it's got a little bit of, wear. Some of the green paint is gone on the back of the cover, but the front cover, it doesn't really show too bad. And I'm sure the music will be exactly what I'm looking for. So that was $8. So I picked this one up for $4, which is, I think, a really good deal. Next up, my second comedy album from the day, and I think this might be Eddie Murphy's first comedy record. It's called Comedian from 1983. It's him on the back, looking dapper. The guy wanted $10 for this, so I picked it up for $5. Had been talking to some friends about early Eddie Murphy comedy performances from the 80s. You had this one, you had Raw, you had Delirious, and I couldn't remember which bits came from which recording. So when I saw this, I thought, well, here we go. This was where it all began. So now I can listen to that again and refresh my memory and hear it on vinyl, and that'll be really cool, you know. I've never even had an Eddie Murphy album on vinyl, but I've been picking up a lot of comedy LPs from places over the last 10 years. A lot of Rodney Dangerfield and again, having a brain fart, can't remember some of the others, but you know, occasionally I'll National Lampoon, Monty Python, stuff like that. So now I've got some Eddie Murphy to go along with it. This was a really cool record, Jeff Beck Group LP. I think it's just called Jeff Beck Group, actually. This one was $10, so I got this one for $5. It's got Cozy Powell on it, Bob Tench, Jeff Beck, etc. So that's what the back looks like. It's on Epic. And here's one I was totally surprised to see. Nancy in London. Nancy Sinatra. This is produced by Lee Hazelwood. Cover's got a little bit of foxing on it, but it's not too bad. I can live with it. But a really, really iconic cover image of her, you know, kind of in semi-reclined pose. I guess that would be a bus, double-decker bus. Makes sense. So it's got one of my favorite show tunes on here on Broadway. I'm not a big show tune guy, but I do like that one. And it reminds me, we took my mom out to a fancy restaurant in town a couple of weeks ago, and the pianist at the bar, or next to the bar, was taking requests, and you could pencil in whatever song you wanted to hear. And she said she'd like to hear, my mom that is, she said she'd like to hear New York, New York. So he had a list of 5 proscribed songs, and sure enough, that was one of them. I guess that's one of those songs he gets asked so many times. I don't remember if On Broadway was one of the songs, but I think it might have been. Okay, and then the last record. So I bought 16 albums for $48, and this was the last one that I bought. I have an album by this band. It's the Shins on Sub Pop. So this, he wanted 15 for this. I picked it up for $7.50. Jacket's in great shape. Got a pretty cool inner sleeve. I don't even think I looked at the disc. So, yeah, I'm not a huge Shins fan. But then again, I've only really heard one of their LPs, or I have a CD by them. So, cover art on this is really cool. So that's it. Nice haul from the flea market. Really nice dude. Don't even know his name, you know. Just go up there and look through his stuff and buy whatever appeals to me. And sometimes I get lucky and he has some interesting things in there. So that was the case yesterday. So before I found those records at the flea market, my friend George had gotten a box of records from someone. I think it might have been a relative of his, and he had already gone through and picked out the ones he wanted. He was just going to trade, I think, the rest of what he had in there. So he likes specific types of music, and a lot of times he'll have things that I'm interested in that he has absolutely no interest in. So that was the case on this occasion. And so he asked me if I wanted to go through the box, and I did. I was really surprised. I was expecting to find mostly stuff like, just not really anything I was looking for. Maybe some old beat up Eagles LPs or something. But as it happens, what I did find was pretty impressive. So he had this self-titled Albert Hammond record. Albert Hammond is best known for his song "It Never Rains in Southern California." You know, but girl, I'm here to warn you, it pours. Yes, it pours. That big hit, AM Gold staple from the 70s. So he did that record. It's a really good singer-songwriter guy. This has such an interesting cover. It's like a needlepoint composition of his face. He's kind of looking off into the distance. Not much on the backside, so pretty great for a free record. Albert Hammond, I'll bet that one's going to be good. So this next one is 10cc 100cc, and I think this is a UK release. At least it's on the London UK label. And it is a compilation. So it's got the Wall Street Shuffle, one of my favorite 10cc songs on there. I'm sure I have all these other songs on it. Actually, a couple of these were sort of maybe Waterfall, I think. maybe Fresh Air from My Mama. I'm not sure if those were LP cuts. If they were, they would have been on the first two LPs, which were Sheet Music and what's the other one? 10cc and Sheet Music, I think. So the only 10cc album that I really don't have at the moment, I think, is their very first one, which has the letters of the band name blown up like balloons. I have Sheet Music, and I think I might have 2 copies of Sheet Music. Anyway, so now I've got this one, which is pretty cool. Really plain cover, but it's, you know, nice typesetting. Very interesting for a free find. So here also I found a quadraphonic release of Art Garfunkel's Angel Claire. And I was reading how this was released, I think in, was it Super Bitmapped or HD CD or some other format on SACD maybe a couple of years ago. And they said it's taken from these 4-channel mixes, and that it's an incredible sounding record. Now I already have this on CD, and it's his first solo LP. So you know, if you've heard Simon and Garfunkel, you know what Art Garfunkel is capable of sounding like. But the first time I heard this record and I heard the song Traveling, was it a Traveling Boy? I was just really impressed with the build-up. It just starts off really quiet, kind of mellow, like a typical Simon and Garfunkel tune, and then it just bursts out into this wall of sound near the end with, I think it's Larry Fast playing guitar. Or no, not Larry Fast. He's the synthesizer player. It's Larry Carlton. So he's... yeah, it just really takes off with his guitar solo, and it's a beautiful song. And then the other songs on here are all very good too. So, nice jacket. I don't have a quadraphonic system right now, so, you know, right now I just own this for a stereo LP listening experience. But at some point I might get a quadraphonic setup, and this is one I'd love to play when that day comes. Now then, some of you are probably sick and tired of me showing Bay City Rollers albums, but here's another one that I think this might be the last one I needed and didn't have. A lot of times I'll stop at a place and this record's in beat up shape, and it's got one of my favorite Bay City Roller songs on it, Yesterday's Hero. Really ironic lyrics given the band that we're talking about. So, back cover. I like their stuff. Don't know what else to say about it. You know, they're snappy dressers. It was free. So, as Brack likes to say, that fits my budget perfectly. Here's another quadraphonic LP. So whoever gave these LPs to George was really into quadraphonic sound. This is a Quadradisc. It's a Herbie Mann record. And this one is called Hold On, I'm Coming, recorded live at the 1972 New York and Montreux Jazz Festivals. So this looks like a fun listen. It's got a die-cut cover. Open it up, and there he is, playing his flute on stage. Herbie Mann, of course, probably best known for the album Push Push. And if you don't know what that cover looks like, go look it up, do yourself a favor, you'll have a good laugh. So I picked this next record up thinking I might give it to a friend of mine who's Scottish and really into Highland music. This is Passport to the Music of Scotland. This album was released in a couple of different album covers. It's a London Records Passport series, high fidelity, you know, just pipe and drum music, basically. Not much more to say about that. Either you like it or you find it ear-piercingly awful. I tend to like it. But there are times when I just have to shut it off, let's be honest. Okay, so I already have a Best of Bread LP. This is more Best of Bread. Front and back cover. A little dusty, I'm going to have to clean these up. There's your nice inner photos of bread. So, good old bread. I like bread. I like the food. I like the band. It wasn't $15, that's just the bag that I re-sleeved it in. So again, this was a free one from George's collection. Alright, so that's it for the records I got from George. Now in town, there's a record store I hadn't been to since they closed down around end of February, early March, after we got our business lockdown orders here in Florida. So I hadn't been in there. When I went back in, the vendor had rearranged a lot of his LPs. So he had some select LPs in the front of the store at various prices, and everything in the back of the store was $5. So I bought a couple of $5 LPs from him. So Big Country Wonderland. This song was released in this format as a 4-track EP with some B-sides on it and the song The Crossing added to it. There's also a clear vinyl version of this, which I'm on the hunt for, but this is the black vinyl version. And then also the song itself, Wonderland, was released as a 12-inch single, a long mix of it. I have that too, I think, somewhere. Anyway, so $5. Saw this in there. It was still in the shrink. It's still in the shrink, but it's got a little bit of waviness to it, which I didn't realize when I bought it. Yeah, $5 is an okay price to pay for this. It's got Working for the Weekend on it. I do like Loverboy, good Canadian band from the 70s and 80s. So this is their biggest album, Get Lucky. Been seeing this record floating around in the bins over there at the store for quite a while. He was asking $9 for it, so when it got marked down to $5, I snapped it up. This is a Martha and the Muffins record, band that Daniel Lanois was in. It's called Trance and Dance. Don't really know any of the tracks off of this. I do like them, so there you have it. And then the last one, I think I actually bought more than this, but these are the only ones that I have handy. So bought this for my wife for her birthday recently. It was $5. It's a Terence D'Arby record, and it's called Introducing the Hardline, according to Terence Trent D'Arby. Still in the shrink, perfect looking disc, really nice looking record. So that's it. So that's going to wrap it up for the video. Just thought I'd share some finds with you guys. Let me know what you've been finding. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.